Today we're going to learn how to play a stressful cooperative card game called The Game. Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to Playing Games. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Don't play games with me. Just do it. This game can be played alone in a solitary fashion, but it's best played with a large group of people. The object is to eliminate all 98 cards in the deck. And why 98 cards? Well, you're going to want to fill in the numbers 1 through 100, starting with the number 2 and ending with the number 99. The game has two pairs of starter cards, a pair of 1s and a pair of 100s. So you have your 1s up here and you have your 100s down there. On the top rows, you can only place cards which are higher in value than the shown card. On the bottom two rows, you can only place cards which are lower in value than the shown card. If you're playing with 3, 4, or 5 players, deal everyone 6 cards. If you're playing with just 2 players, you'll deal 7. And if you're playing alone, deal yourself 8 cards. We're going to deal out 7 cards. After the cards are dealt, you as a team decide who can go first. You can't say what's in your hand. You might indicate that you have a very low or very high card, which would be beneficial for start of play. Now, it's important to know that we will not be able to see one another's cards, nor would we be able to speak about the numbers on these cards. We can sort of indicate, I've got a high card, I've got a low card. You can't specifically say which card that is, though. On each player's turn, they must play at least 2 cards from their hand per turn. They could play more if they'd like. The communal goal is to play through the whole deck before the game ends. The game either ends by all 98 cards being played to the table, or if a player can no longer play 2 cards on their turn, ending the game for all players. If a player gets stuck, then all players count up the cards in their hands, plus the remaining cards in the deck, if any. The total of all of these cards is your score. The lower the score, the better, 0 being the best possible score. So I would probably indicate that I should go first because I have the highest card you can possibly play, the 99. We're only going to get really 2 chances to play that early on in the game, and those will go away quickly. I'll put the 99 on the 100 here like this. So we see the previous one and we see what's been played. It's important to kind of see what you've played because maybe you're waiting for a card and it doesn't show up. You want to know whether that's going to happen or not. And remember, the rule is I must play 2 cards from my hand. I can't just get away with putting the 1 card down and passing. So I have to make a decision here. I could play the 5 on the 1 because that's ascending from 1. But maybe somebody has the 2, 3, or 4. I could also play the 95, which is fairly close to the 99, and I'll do that. So, and then I'll end my turn. And you end your turn, you draw back up to your hand limit, which in this case is 7. So I take 2 more cards. So once my turn is complete, the next player goes. If we were playing in a circle, it'd be clockwise. I'm just playing with one other player, so they would go. Their smartest move here would probably be to play the 3 on the 1, because you're only missing the 2. Now, their next move is not so great because they have not the highest card, an 86, and really no good low cards. So you got to do a little quick math. What creates the biggest gap? You don't want gaps. 86 probably is the least gap because 29 is quite a bit higher than 3. So they made their move, they take 2 new cards. And look, so they must be kicking themselves because they just got an 89, which is a lot closer than 86 was. But that's the best you can do. But there is one thing they can do with these 2 cards on their turn, and it's a special move. There's really one special move you can do in the game, and that is playing 2 cards that are exactly 10 apart from each other. So 89 and 79 are exactly 10. So they could start with a 79 here, and then jump back up to 89. So they're not too far from the 90s, and they were able to get rid of 2 cards. If you have more than 2 cards that are exactly 10 apart, that's a great strategy because you could play maybe your highest one first and then go down by 10, 10, 10, 10. You know, you can chain them together. So it's a good idea to keep numbers that are exactly 10 apart in your hand. So now my teammate gets to go, and then they'll go 75, 74, 71. What would happen here is they're playing out 3 cards and they play 1 by 1. And they're probably looking at me, am I making the right choice or not? I have the 73. I'm not gonna want them to play the 71 before that because then I won't be able to use that there. So as they go 75, 74, I could be like, okay, stop, I've got something. I can't say what I have, but I can tell them, don't play that card. So instead of playing 3 cards, they just played 2, and I indicate that they should end their turn. You and your teammates will continue to build ascending and descending rows. As the top rows get higher in value and the bottom rows get lower in value, you'll start to run out of playable cards in your hand. The game either ends by all 98 cards being played to the table, or if a player can no longer play 2 cards on their turn, ending the game for all players. If a player gets stuck, then all players count up the cards in their hands, plus the remaining cards in the deck, if any. The total of all of these cards is your score. The lower the score, the better, 0 being the best possible score. If you deplete the deck before that happens, play out as many cards from your hands before one player can no longer play 2 cards to the table on their turn. If the deck is depleted and all players have played the cards from their hands, you have won the game. While this is a rare occurrence, it could happen. It's a fairly simple game to get started, but completing the game can be quite difficult. And best of all, it's a cooperative game, so if you want a game that everybody can play together and not against one another, this is a pretty good choice. It's very unlikely that you will win by playing the whole draw deck, by playing all 98 cards. It could happen, but what's more likely is that you will be playing to see how many cards you have left in the draw deck and in your hand at the end. And then if you end up with just 12 cards at the end, you might say that was pretty good, that's our personal best. So you're basically competing to see how close you can get. It's not very likely that you'll play out all 98 cards though. So don't be frustrated if you can't do that. Did I get something wrong, or do you play it differently? Or do you just want to say hi? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe to help this channel grow. You are great. See you next time on Playing Games.